Hi everyone, welcome to yoga. My name is Sharon. I'm usually your yoga instructor. So today, for those of you that have done this before, you know the drill. If anybody new is joining us today and you have yoga props and mats, then please go ahead and get those. If you don't, that's no problem. Just make sure that you have a bit of space to work in. Maybe a carpeted area might be more comfortable for you. Anything that we do seated, if it's more comfortable for you to be in a chair, feel free to get up and move. You're more than welcome to change or modify any of the poses or flows that we do to suit your body. And just a little reminder that yoga, you don't have to be flexible to do yoga. Yoga is more about us connecting our mind, body, and spirit through our use of our breath. So having said that, let's get started. I'd like you to lie down on your back and make yourself comfortable. We're going to start in corpse pose and just start with our grounding and breathing. So wherever you are, if you're on a mat, then have your heels about as wide as the corners of the bottom corners of the mat. For grounding, it's nice if you just connect your palms to the floor, or you can have your left hand over your heart and your right hand over your solar plexus, or just about one hand width down from the top hand over your belly. And this allows you to then feel your inhale and exhale also. So that's the nice part about that. And you can just relax your upper arms on the mat. So whatever feels best for you, place your hands wherever is comfortable. If you feel like you need to take in energy from around you, then just gently place the backs of your hands down on the floor at the side body, a little bit away from the side body with the palms up. And just keep an open mind, listen to your body, be kind to your body throughout your practice, and take as many breaks as you need throughout your practice. So as we proceed with connecting with our breath, we're going to visualize our lungs as a couple of balloons, and gradually over the next several breath cycles, we're going to start to use more and more space in our lungs. So on the inhale, we like to inhale through our nose. This helps to filter and warm the air that's coming in to our body. And then when you exhale, just gently part the lips and exhale through the mouth. And with this, we're going to continue to start to use more space in our lungs. So we're transitioning from our everyday, busy, shallow chest breathing into a deeper, fuller inhale and exhale. This is going to serve to help us quiet our minds and calm our bodies. While we continue with grounding and breathing, let's remind ourselves to let go of competition, let go of comparison, and let go of judgment. Let's come from an attitude of gratitude today, and let's be grateful for what our bodies allow us to do today. From moment to moment, do your best to stay present in each moment. Stay connected with your breath. We're going to unite body, mind, and spirit using the breath as a conduit to triangulate all those limits. So if your hands are on your body, you can feel the chest and the belly rising and falling with your inhale and exhale. Also be aware of the side body and the back body opening up with each inhale. And with each exhale, just release any tension and tightness that you may be holding on to throughout your entire body. Feel yourself relaxing. Let's go ahead and place our feet on the mat or on the floor, and let's have our feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. We're going to go into our windshield wiper knees. So when we inhale, keep the knees facing up to the ceiling. And once you've filled up your lungs, you're going to slowly let the knees down to one side. And if you need to pause there while you finish your exhale, then do that. We want to really stay connected with the breath and give our hips and thighs a little opportunity to stretch out here. When you're ready to inhale, bring those knees back up to face up the ceiling. Feel your chest, belly, side body, back body open up with the inhale. Fill those lungs up. And then when you're ready, take as much time as possible to complete your exhale while you lower those knees down to the other side. So this part of our practice is very slow and purposeful. We're doing our best to stay connected with our breath and coordinate the movement with the breathing. Windshield wipers are fantastic for opening up the hip joints, for getting some length in the muscle fibers in the inner and outer thighs. And as you can feel, we're gently rolling across the glutes, gently rolling across the bottoms of the feet as we go from one side to the other. We're also getting some nice spinal twist in here. So if it's available to you today, you can start to mobilize the neck and look in the opposite direction that the knees are going. Just gently turn the head. If you have any neck issues, then just keep your gaze up to the ceiling. You don't have to move your head. That said, that goes for anything that we do in the class. If there's something that you know you're limited to or restricted from doing, please don't feel like you have to do it. And please don't do something if it causes you pain. A little bit of extra stretch is good to feel. A little bit of opening up through the joints is good to feel. So listen to your body. Keep moving into those windshield wipers and just take notice how the knees are starting to melt down a little closer to the floor each time you go from side to side. Anytime you need a break from windshield wipers, you can rest your knees in place up towards the ceiling, or you can maybe hug one knee in towards your body one at a time and just kind of open up through the lower back a little bit, and then resume with a couple more windshield wipers. Let's do one more each side. Nice easy breaths in and out. Good. So now we're just going to hug those knees in towards our upper body. If you're tight through the hips and knees, you don't have to hold over top the shins. You can hold underneath the knees just at the low part of your hamstrings and just gently cradle those thighs in towards your upper body and lift the tailbone a bit, round through the lower lumbar spine, and then gently rock from side to side. This is nice for a little bit of self-massage through the back. Just rock and roll across those muscles in your back. Nice easy breaths in and out. Then let's bring this to still, and we're going to keep the right thigh in towards our chest and let the left leg down, and just feel this stretch through the hamstring and the glute on the side where the knee is bent. If you need to open up the knee a little bit, please feel free. You can still get stretch here. You can just hold at the low part of the hamstring and then gently pull the leg in towards you without bending the knee so much. So if you've got knee issues and it's hard to bend the knee, then just open up the knee and guide the leg in as best you can. Then from here, we're going to switch sides. So bring the other knee in and gently let down the right leg. You can keep the right leg bent or you can straighten it out, depending what your range of motion is available to you today. So as long as you feel a nice healthy stretch, that's good. So if you need to dial it back a bit, then you can bend one or both knees and not pull your leg in so close to the body. Use your breath to open up places where you feel tension and tightness. So if you're feeling a lot of stretch and tightness in your top part of your hamstring and your glute, then just connect your mind to that part of your body And when you inhale, think about directing your inhale towards that part of your body. Think about expanding that part of your body with your breath, opening it up. And then when you exhale, you release that tension and tightness through your exhale. Okay, so if you're ready and you'd like to try, then bring both knees in towards your chest. See if you can hug it in a little bit tighter. If you're ready to hold from over top the shins, hold over top and then gently rock it out again. Gently rock side to side. Breathe comfortably. Good, and then gently let those feet down towards the mat and then slide them right out. We're going to lengthen the entire body and then take those hands up overhead. So now with our cycles of breath, we're on the inhale, you're going to make yourself as long and tall as possible. So imagine that someone's holding your wrists and pulling upwards, getting big stretch through the upper body as you're inhaling, and then someone else is hanging onto your ankles, pulling downwards, creating really good length and stretch through the entire body. When you're ready to exhale, just simply let everything relax and soften. So the elbows might slide down a little bit towards the lower body. Just let them, and let the arms become heavy. Let the fingers curled into their relaxed position with the backs of the hands resting on the floor. Let the entire pelvis relax, and then the feet will just roll out naturally. So if you're holding on to tension and tightness in your glutes, your feet won't roll out. So try and just scan your body to make sure that you really truly relaxed your entire body. And then when you're ready to inhale again, reach up and out, reach down and out, and really think about stretching and making yourself as tall and long as possible. Even though you're lengthened out and stretched out, you can still make an effort to fill those lungs up as best you can, even though it feels like there might be a little bit of pressure downwards into your upper body because you are stretching yourself out rather flat and long. Do your best. Stay connected with your breath. And then when you're ready, you're going to slowly, gently, and evenly exhale and start to let every part in your body relax and soften. So feel the kneecaps release. Feel the quads release, feel the hamstrings, calf muscles, shins, ankles, feet, toes. Everything just releases and relaxes and just becomes soft and relaxed. Let's do a couple more of those. When you're ready, inhale and stretch up and out and down and out, even more than before. You might start to feel some stretch into the sides of the hips, maybe the hip flexors, maybe in the low belly, or maybe in the arms. Just take notice where you feel this. And then on your exhale, try and let it out evenly, slowly, and then start to relax your body. Feel everything just melting down towards the floor. Feel those arms becoming heavy. The backs of the arms just come down towards the floor. Check the hips, check the glutes. Make sure you release all the layers in your glutes. And the feet and the legs would just roll out naturally as you relax through your hips. Then one more time, when you're ready, nice deep breath in, stretch, lengthen, point your toes. Feel the stretch across the tops of your feet, the front of your ankles. Don't clench your teeth. Make sure your jaw is relaxed so you can breathe. Fill those lungs up. And when you're ready to exhale, let it out nice and slow. Feel everything soften and relax once more. Good. Now we're going to move through the shoulders. So we have our arms up overhead already. We're just going to move one arm at a time. So right now the palms are up towards the ceiling with the backs of the hands down. If this is a little tight on your shoulders to be right up overhead, you can open your arms up into a little bit more of a Y shape and still keep your arms extended or straight. Okay, so the goal is to try and have your arms as straight as possible. If you're coming from an I position, then you're just going to, on your exhale, bring the arm down to the side body. So we're going to inhale first. And this concept of making ourselves long and tall again is there, especially through the upper body. And then let's take our right arm on the exhale and just windmill it down towards the side body, and then the palm ends up down beside the hip. And then on your inhale, once you've finished emptying out your lungs, on your inhale, you're going to bring it back from where it came. And then on your next exhale, you're going to windmill down the left arm, keeping it as straight as possible. So we're moving through the shoulder joint, then bringing that palm down beside the left hip. And when you're ready to inhale, you're going to bring that left arm back up, either into an I position, so that you make a letter I with your entire body, or you can be in a Y position with those arms. So if it's still hard on the shoulders to keep your arms straight, then go ahead and put some bend or flexion in the elbows. When you're ready to exhale, bring your right arm down, rest the palm down by the hip and the upper leg. Empty out your lungs. Then when you're ready to inhale, again, we're going to open up the chest and the belly. Think about the diaphragm opening up downwards inside your body like a hammock to accommodate that inhale. Now when you're ready to exhale, left arm comes down, nice and easy, with it straight as possible, resting down beside your left hip and upper leg. Good. Now keep the left arm there. Inhale. And then on this exhale, you're going to bring your right arm down so that both hands end up by the side body with the palms down. Okay. So I'd like you to put the bottoms of your feet together. We're going to open up through the hips a little bit more using our breath. So this is a lying butterfly or lying cobbler pose where the bottoms of the feet are connected and the knees just come out to the side. So this is where you can incorporate your cushions or yoga blocks. If you're really tight through the hips, you can place support under your legs to keep your legs, allow them to just rest into the block. So when you're lying down, you can have support underneath those knees, and then you're not fighting to keep your legs suspended in air. You want to be able to relax through your hips. So cushions from your couch or whatever, just whatever you have nearby to allow yourself to really relax into this pose and get a little bit of melt or opening happening through your hip joints. So connect with your breath again. If you want to put your left hand over your heart and your right hand over your solar plexus, you can do that. Or if you want to open up through your shoulders, then you can put your arms in cactus or goalpost position where your elbows are bent at 90 degrees. The elbows are more or less at the same level as your shoulders with the backs of the hands down on the floor. This will allow for some external rotation through the shoulders and some opening through the shoulders if you want that. If not, then you can have your hands on your body or your palms connected to the ground with your arms at the side body, somewhat away from the side body, about 45 degrees. Then you can just think about letting gravity and the weight of your legs allow for your knees to just melt down towards the floor. Once you feel like you have more room become available, if you'd like, you can start to remove your props and let those knees sink down a little bit more and really let those hips open up. So the key here is to just draw your focus back to your breath. Really have a nice energizing inhale. think about sending that breath into those areas of your hips or your thighs where you feel tightness, and open them right up with your inhale. And then on your exhale, think about truly relaxing and softening through those areas and letting those knees just melt down closer towards the floor. Again, nice deep breath in. Feel the upper body expand with the breath, and then when you're ready to exhale, let it out slowly. And think about letting those knees just melt down even more. Good, one more cycle of breath. If it's really tight through the hips, on your inhale, you can put the knees together just like you're closing a book. And then when you exhale, just let them relax down again, and think about really relaxing through your exhale. So you can move through that if you like. So when you're doing your practice, if you like to be in a static pose where you just stay like this, you can stay like this. Or if you like flow, then you can flow with the breath, where when you inhale, you bring the knees together, and when you exhale, you let the knees out. So that's another way you can do this one. Okay, next we're going to transition into our hip bridge. So I'm going to just move my blocks over to the side. So again, we're going to bring our arms down to the side body, because we're going to need to push down into the floor through our hands, and then we're going to place our feet down on the mat, bend our knees. Place your feet somewhere between hip and shoulder distance apart, and then bring your heels in a little bit closer to your glutes. So I like to say approximately one hand length from the bottom of your glute to the back of your foot for just an approximate distance, because we're going to focus on glutes when we start. So then place your arms back out to the side. You're going to inhale first, and then when you're ready to exhale, we're going to lift the spine and the hips up off the mat and send the top of the hips up towards the ceiling. So you're going to drive down into the floor through your feet and your hands and your arms in order to lift those hips and engage the back body and the glutes, a little bit through the hamstrings. When you're ready to inhale, lower the hips and the back down, fill those lungs up while you're resting here, preparing for the next bridge. So again, open up the body with the breath. Really open up those glutes, because you're going to come into a big contraction on the exhale. When you're ready to exhale, again, lift the hips up. Send the top of the hips up towards the ceiling. Come up onto the backs of the shoulders. Tuck the chin down towards the chest slightly. Knit the ribs together as you engage your abs now as well. Feel the stretch across the tops of the hips. When you're ready to inhale, slowly lower the back and the hips down. Finish your inhale. And again, when you're ready, exhale through the mouth, lift, squeeze glutes in and up. Engage your abs. So in your abs, I'd like you to have this feeling that you get when you're coughing or laughing really hard. So engage your ab muscles in the top as well. Starting to engage more muscles here. When you're ready to inhale, slowly lower. Anytime you need a break from this one, a nice way to take a break from this is either to hug one knees into your chest and do the rock side to side, and then resume your flow when you're ready. Hip bridge flow, inhale. Fill those lungs up. And then when you're ready, exhale, slowly lift, squeeze. See if you can get those hips up a little higher than last time. So remember at the beginning when I said where to place your feet. This is because when we want to focus more on glutes, once our hips are up, if you can see, the ankles are just underneath the knee joint when we're up here. So more glute focus here. Then lower down on the inhale. So now let's walk our feet out, maybe about 1 foot length forward. Now you're going to feel the difference when we come into the hip bridge, where it's a little bit more hamstring focused. So you're going to inhale the same way, and you're going to come up the same way, but because your feet are now in front of your knees. When you come up, You're going to feel more involvement of your hamstrings, or you should. And then when you're ready to inhale, bring it back down. So just pay attention to what you're feeling in your body and where. Acknowledge it, release it, let it go, let it be. Don't judge it. Breathe in. Stay focused on your breath. Stay present in your practice. Keep your mind and body connected. When you're ready to elevate your hips, exhale. Press down into the floor through your entire foot on each side and your hands and your arms, and get those hips up high. Finish your exhale and then come back down gently, slowly. Let's hug those knees in and gently rock from side to side. Anytime you need a drink, make sure you have your water. Stay hydrated throughout your practice. Anytime you need to pause and take a break, you can come back to corpse pose. So you can just lie on your back here, just take a break, whatever you need to do, listen to your body, be kind to your body. We're all at different places today with our bodies. Everybody's body is different, so we need to respect that. Okay, bring it to still, and then we're going to put some curve in the back, and we're going to rock forward and back, and make it bigger and bigger until you can rock yourself up to the seated position. Good. I'm just going to grab a sip here. All right. So now let's transition into our hands and knees, or quadruped position, where our hands will be underneath our shoulders and our knees underneath our hips. So if you have a mirror or a glass where you can see your reflection, that might be helpful, but ideally you should just be able to line it up just by kind of looking around. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips, spread your fingers out like starfish, push away from the mat a little bit so your arms are extended, and we're going to move through the backbones, through the spine. So as you inhale, we're going to come into cow. So what you're going to do is you're going to let the belly sink down towards the floor, towards the mat. Lift the tailbone, lift the chin, and fix your gaze past the top of your mat. Push away from the floor. Think about sliding your shoulder blades back and down. Then when you're ready to exhale, you're going to draw the navel in towards the spine and send the back of your body up towards the ceiling. Tuck your tailbone, tuck your chin, and really round your back like a mad cat. So this is cat. Then we're going to inhale back into cow. So again, sink the belly, lift the tailbone, lift the chin. Maybe some of you can lift a little bit more to fix your gaze more forward this time. If not, just keep it a little bit downwards, but fix your gaze past the top of your mat. When you're ready to exhale, lift the back of the spine up towards the ceiling. So we're creating space between each vertebrae here, opening up the spaces between the vertebrae, opening up the space between the shoulder blades. Keep the arms straight, push away from the floor. Tuck the chin right into the chest. Tuck the tailbone under. Lots of flexion through the spine. Inhale into your cow. So really articulate through each vertebrae as much as you can. If you're ready to look up a little bit higher, maybe you can look at where the wall in front of you intersects the ceiling. So look at that place where the wall meets the ceiling up top. Feel a stretch in the front of the neck, and then when you're ready to exhale, round the spine, pull the navel in and up, and then you're going to just relax your spine back into neutral. Neutral spine, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Now let's tuck our toes, and we're going to gently rock back and forth to create some stretch in the bottoms of the feet, especially in the ball joints of the toes. And we're going to just move through the wrists and the forearms. So you're just going to gently rock back and forth. I want you to just breathe comfortably here while we just rock back and forth. So a little bit of mobility through the wrist, the bottoms of the feet stretching, and then opening up through the backs of the ankles, the Achilles. Okay, so gently rock forward and back. Ideally, if you can push down into the mat while you do this and straighten your elbows. Send the hips back. Good. So what I'm going to get you to do is keep the toes tucked. We're going to walk our hands one hand length forward. One hand length forward. Keep the arms straight. Now we're going to work on flexion or bend in our knees and hips. So I want you to inhale first, and then when you exhale, gently use your hands to push your hips back a bit and feel the bend in the hips and the knees. And feel the stretch in the bottoms of your feet. When you're ready to inhale, come up, come forward. Send your weight forward into your hands, and then when you're ready to exhale, send your weight back a little bit further than last time. So our goal is going to be to get down as low as we can today. So again, if you already know that you're a little bit tight in your hips and knees, what you can do is place a block or cushions where your forehead and your behind is going to come down so that you have support for that when you come down. So ideally you want to keep your toes tucked, but get down so that your hips come down lower and your forehead comes down lower. And then you can just stay down here and breathe into those areas where you feel tightness and tension. So basically into a child's pose with your toes tucked. So you're stretching through the bottoms of the feet, creating more bend through the hips and the knees. And with the arms stretched out like this and us pushing back and getting length through the arms, we're stretching through the back body and into our lats and into our arms as well. Anytime you need to come out of this, a good way to rest out of this is to come back to hands and knees, and then feel free to untuck your toes at any time. So nice deep breath in and out, and then go ahead and come back up to hands and knees position. If you keep the blocks or the cushions nearby, we're going to do that again, but this time with the tops of the feet flat down. And you should notice a difference. Feel the release through the joints in the toes, the tops of the feet, the Achilles. If you need to wiggle your toes a bit and just roll your ankles before we go into the next part, feel free to do that. So hands under shoulders, you got to bring them back in closer to underneath your shoulders. Keep your knees under your hips, and then flatten the tops of the feet this time. So your foot should be directly behind your knee when we do this one. So inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, and exhale back. So nice swift inhale, fill those lungs up, and then exhale back. Energizing breath in through your nose. If and when you feel more room becoming available, walk your hands forward a little bit and start to send those hips back. And then for those of you that have good range of motion available today, and you can get down into your child's pose where the hips either are down on top of the heels or between the feet, and the forehead comes down to the mat. Once you're down as far as you can go, just hang out there and draw your focus back to your breath. And then if you feel like you need to give your arms a break, the other pose is embryo pose, where you bring your arms in close to the beside the body and let the backs of the hands rest beside the feet. And then you can rest your forehead down on the floor, or you can stack one or two cushions right here and make it comfortable for yourself, so you can just relax down into your embryo or child's pose. And you can put cushions underneath your hips to help support your hips. So now in child's pose, whatever that looks like for you today, you can just focus on your breathing. If you're really tight through the hips today and it's really uncomfortable to come down, what you could do is if you have a chair or you're near a couch, you can just rest your head and your arms on the couch, and then just let your hips sink back a little bit. Maybe have something to support your hips so you can just kind of get back and down and stay a little bit elevated. Okay, so use what you have around you. One more breath in and out here in child's pose, and then we're gonna come into a kneeling position. So come back up to hands and knees. I'm going to face the camera. I'm going to get you to step your left foot forward into a kneeling position. So I'm going to face the camera. And if you need extra cushion underneath your knees, go right ahead and place underneath your right knee. So if 12 o'clock is directly in front of us, I'd like your left foot to be out around 11 o'clock, not directly at 12. So out on a little bit of a bias. And you're going to tuck your right toes. And this is going to help you engage your glute a little bit more, because we're going to squeeze the glute on the right side and press the front of the right hip forward. So we're getting hip flexor and quad stretch already even before we go into our side bend. Now you're going to release your hands and arms down by your side body. You're going to inhale first, keeping that glute engaged. As you exhale, you're going to bring your right arm up and over into a side bend. So you're going to lean over to the left with your right arm up and over. You should feel big stretch through the right side of your body into your arm even. When you're ready to inhale, bring it back down. And then when you're ready to exhale, up and over. So I'd like you to also think about it like this. If your upper body was sandwiched between two walls, try and move within those two walls. So everything from the waist up is in two walls, and you gotta just move in that lateral plane as best you can. Do a couple more. Inhale and exhale. Again, inhale and exhale. Good. Arms down by your side, and then bring that left leg back into your kneel position, and then send the right foot out at about 1 o'clock. Tuck your left toes under. If you need to reposition a couple times to get most of your toes tucked under, sometimes the pinky toe doesn't tuck under, so just let it be. And then engage your left glute. Press your left hip forward so that you feel this stretch in your hip flexor and the top of your quad, even before you start. Arms back and down, shoulders back and down, upper body nice and tall. Nice deep breath in. And then when you're ready to exhale, left arm comes up and over. Send your left hip to the left wall to get a little bit more stretch while holding that contraction in your glute. Feel how that changes your stretch. Maybe feel a little bit more into the side and the front and around the waist area. Exhale or inhale it back down. So continue with that. When you're ready to exhale, you go up and over, and then reach down towards the floor through your right fingertips. Really create big stretch through that side body as much as you can. Inhale back down. Remember this idea that we're trying to move within the confines of two walls, the space between two walls that we're sandwiched between, trying to work in this lateral plane to create lots of stretch in the side body. Inhale and exhale. One more big, full, energizing breath in. Fill those lungs up. And then, good. From here, let's come right up to standing. Grab a drink. If you need to shake those legs out a little bit, let's move around, shake out those feet. Roll out those ankles, maybe roll out your wrists. Okay, and then we're going to come into our standing spinal roll downs. So I'm going to get you to go to the back of your mat. You're going to place your feet hip distance apart. Look down to your feet and put some space between your toes as best you can. Spread your toes out. Really grip the mat with your feet. Shoulders up, back, and down, reaching up and out through the top of your head. You're going to take a nice deep breath in. And then as we exhale slowly, we're going to start to roll ourselves down towards the floor. So you're going to start by tucking the chin in towards the chest. And then you're going to think about rolling down one vertebrae at a time, keeping your chin tucked in. And then as you get closer and closer towards the floor, you're going to let the arms hang heavy out of from their joints, from the shoulder joints. And let the head hang heavy as well. So the top of the head hangs down here. If you're tight in the back of the legs, you can place blocks down to rest your hands on. Feel the opening in the back and the glutes and the top of the hamstrings. When you're ready to inhale, fill up your back with your breath. And then draw your navel in like you're going to cough or laugh. And then start to use the strength in your abs to help roll yourself back up one vertebrae at a time. Tuck the chin into the chest so the head will be the last thing to come up. So again, this gets us to really do our best to connect with that part of our body, which is the spine. We're trying to articulate again through the spine, going down and coming up. So inhale. Open up the body with the breath, and then when you're ready to move, tuck the chin into the chest. Keep it tucked, and then roll down one vertebrae at a time. Think of the C-spine, the T-spine, the thoracic vertebrae. And then as you come down a bit more, you feel opening up into the lumbar vertebrae. Arms hang heavy, head hangs heavy, and feel a little bit more length coming into the back and the back of the legs. Use your blocks or cushions if you need to rest your hands on something. Open up your body with your breath. So breathe into your body. And then just before you come up, draw your navel in. Use strength in your abs to help bring yourself up one vertebrae at a time. Chin into chest. The head will be the last thing to come up. So the other part you can add once you come up is you can shrug your shoulders up or elevate your shoulder blades and then retract your shoulder blades and depress your shoulder blades. So try that one more time. As you inhale, think about the top of the head being drawn up towards the ceiling first. So creating some length and opening with your inhale. And then when you're ready to move, you're going to draw the chin in towards the chest. And then roll yourself down. Nice and easy. Use the entire time it takes to exhale to do this. Feel the spaces opening up between the vertebrae and your back. Feel the head hang heavy. Feel the arms hang heavy. At any time you can soften the knees to take a little bit of the pressure off the back of the legs. You can keep softness in the knees. Inhale into your body, open up that torso with your breath. And then when you're ready to come up, draw the navel in, get that feeling in there like you're going to cough or laugh. Tuck the chin in, bring yourself up slowly, slowly. No need to rush. And try to incorporate the shoulder movement here too. Move through your shoulder blades. Let them come up. Draw them back. And release them down. Good job. All right. So next we're going to come down and up. So we're going to take a big breath in. This time we're going to float our hands and arms up towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, we're going to come down into a forward fold. At this point, you can bend your knees. So this is the first part of getting down. We're just going to crawl down and out onto hands and knees. Okay? This is your level 1. Then you're going to inhale here. And then on the exhale, you're going to crawl back the way you came down. So coming through crouch and then rolling up. So this is your spinal roll up. And to make this feel a little bit more stable, you can walk your feet, have your feet a little bit wider here. So you're going to move through this one first, and then we're going to progress it. So those of you that want to progress it are going to come with me. But right now, let's go back out into our hands and knees. Bend your knees here. Crawl out to hands and knees. Breathe into your body. Open up your body with your breath. And when you're ready to exhale, start to walk the hands back towards the knees. Lift the knees. Tuck the chin into the chest. Roll up. Shoulders up, back and down. Good. So next I'm going to walk out to a plank on my knees. So you can come with me. Inhale up. Exhale down. And I'm going to start to walk out with fairly straight legs, but I'm going to let my knees come down once my hands come under my shoulders. And then squeeze my glutes in and down towards the floor. I'm going to inhale, and then I'm going to exhale, walk it back, and come up through a little bit of a plank and a down dog to walk it back up. So the progression is going to be through different parts, transitioning from hands and knees position into a high plank. So inhale those arms up, look up. Exhale, forward fold. And then those of you that are up to it are going to come out into a high plank, walk it right out so that your hands end up under your shoulders. Breathe in first. And then walk it back. Roll it up. So that's a real core activator. Shoulders up, back and down. One more time, try it. Inhale up. So any level that works for you today, just work within what your body's able to give you right now. Nice deep breath in first, and then walk back. Keep your core tight. Roll up one vertebrae at a time. Head is the last thing to come up. Shoulders go up, back, and down. Nice work. Good. So let's do our T-spine opener from the standing position. Let's walk up towards the top of our mat. Extend your arms out in front of you, just at or below shoulder level. You're going to inhale first, and then as you exhale, you're going to windmill that right arm open. Follow that hand with your eyes as you twist and look behind you, twisting as far as you can, pulling that arm back as far as you can, then inhaling it back, palms together in front of you, and then when you're ready to exhale, windmill the left arm open, get the shoulder blade back and down out of the way so you can open up, and then bring it back to where you started. Good. Couple more. Inhale. And exhale. Follow that hand with your eyes. Inhale. Bring it back. Fill those lungs up. And then when you're ready to exhale, left arm goes back. Twist. Open up. And then bring it back together. Good. Next, we're going to open up through the hip joint a little bit. So we're going to stand with our feet about hip distance apart. So I'm just going to landmark the front of my hips, these hip bones, with my first and second fingers. So you can feel your hip bones here. Make sure that your hip bones stay facing forward. You're just going to lift your right heel off the mat, stay on your toes, and then you're going to open up your right knee out to the right wall, keeping your hip bones facing forward as best you can. Inhale that knee, come back to center, and let the heel down. Then we're going to the left side. So inhale, come up onto your toes on the left side. As you exhale, open up that knee out to the side as far as you can get it without actually twisting your body. So we want the front of the body to stay facing forward, keep these hip bones in place, then bring it back and let the heel down. So the next level, if you want to challenge your balance, is to come up all the way with your knee up and then open the right knee up to the right side, keeping your hip bones facing forward, bring it back and then down. So you could do this hanging on to something too. So if you want to hang on to the wall or something, you can hang on, and then you could do the left side here. So your feet are side by side, about hip distance apart. You bring your left knee up and then open it up to the side. Inhale it back and down. Okay, so level 1, just a reminder, is to lift, inhale your right heel up. Exhale, turn your knee out to the right, keeping your hip bones facing forward. Inhale it back to center. Exhale it down. Inhale the left heel up. Exhale the left knee out. Inhale the left knee back to face forward. Exhale the left heels down. Good. Those of you trying the balance challenge, inhale the right knee up. Exhale the right knee out towards the right wall. Inhale the right knee back in front of you. Exhale the foot down. Left side. Inhale the left knee up. Exhale it out to the side. Inhale it back to center. Exhale it down. Good. And then just pedal the feet in place. So lift and press the heels, alternating one side at a time. Again, if you want to go to a wall and do this for support, you're just moving through your calf muscles, through the bottoms of your feet. Okay, so do what you need to do to make it work, and then bring those feet back to center. And we're just going to move through the arms and the legs a little bit wide into squat. So let's come out into a little bit wider stance with the toes turned out slightly. On the inhale, you're going to come up nice and tall, and on the exhale, come down into your squat. Inhale up. Come down, inhale up. Inhale up. So again, after we just opened up those hips, coming into a little bit of a wide stance, open squat or sumo squat. Inhale up. Exhale into your squat. Couple more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale and come up. Good. So we're going to come back down to the mat, and we're going to engage the abs. We're going to work on our Kegels to strengthen the abs and the abdominal, the pelvic floor. So if you need a drink, take a drink. If you need to just walk around a little bit before you come down. So you're going to come down. You're going to have your feet bent, your knees bent and your feet on the mat. And we're going to place our hands on our belly. I'd like you to have your middle fingers just at the side of your belly button. Okay, and then spread your fingers out along your abdomen. When you breathe in, you're going to feel your fingers spread apart as the belly rises. So the chest expands, the belly rises. So think of the belly button as the center of the clock. We're filling up our lungs, and we're feeling the top body really open up. So our fingers are spreading apart. They might even be coming apart down the sides of our body as the center of the clock opens up towards the ceiling. So we're really getting a lot of air in here, and the belly is coming up quite round as we fill up. And then as we exhale, we're going to let it out slowly, and you're going to think about the numbers around the center of the clock coming in and down to the center of the clock. So we're going to start to draw in and down, engaging as much of our ab muscles as we can. You're going to feel the lower back start to press down into the mat. You're going to feel your belly pull away from underneath the palms of your hands. The fingers might start to touch or knit together. And as you contract through the abs, get that feeling again in your abs that you get when you're laughing or coughing really hard. And then you're going to go deeper. You're going to go into those muscles that you use when you hold your bladder. So the pelvic floor muscles pull in and up, and we're really holding a lot of tension in the abdomen here. So I want you to squeeze as much as you can, get out that last bit of air, and then we're going to start to relax and soften. So just start to relax and soften those muscles. Feel the softness come into the belly again as we prepare to inhale. Feel the fingers coming apart, and then we're going to fill those lungs up. And the chest and the belly, the spaces between the ribs, they're all going to expand and open up. Also be aware of the side body and the back body expanding and opening up around you as well. So big breath in. And a little bit of an arch or extension comes into the spine as we breathe in. That's totally fine. That's natural. That's normal. Take your time. Do your best to fill those lungs up. Remember, the belly button is the center of the clock. And then when you're ready to exhale, do it slowly, evenly, with purpose and intention and focus. So now when you exhale, you're going to exhale and think about the numbers coming in and down to the center of the clock. Think about all those muscles in your abs, all those muscle fibers that you're trying to fire up and engage. So that feeling that you're going to get in a few seconds here that reminds you of what it feels like when you're laughing or coughing really hard. And then you got to go a little deeper into those layers. The tailbone can tilt up a bit as you press the low back down into the mat. The fingers are coming together, maybe even knitting together. You can feel the ab muscles underneath your palms of your hands pulling down and away from underneath your hands as everything tightens up. Feel the pelvic floor lift in and up. Get that last bit of air out. Big, big squeeze. And when you're ready to start to inhale, relax, soften. Let it release slowly, gradually. Try and feel and stay connected with what's happening in your abs. Lower back starts to relax and come away from the mat a little bit. Tailbone goes back down towards the mat. Glutes are relaxed. This is the other thing, when you come into that ab contraction, do your best to leave your glutes out of it. So try not to clench or contract through your glutes a whole lot. Let it happen in the abs. One more time. Big breath in. Open up the belly with the breath. Really let it expand. Feel those fingers coming apart and sliding away from each other. Feels like a balloon being inflated. And when you're ready to exhale, you're going to recruit more muscle fibers this time. So stay connected to your body. Keep your focus on your breath. Work with purpose. Exhale slowly, evenly. Feel the belly and the ab muscles pull away from underneath those hands. You can start to tilt the tailbone up as you squeeze deeper. Press the low back down into the mat. Pelvic floor lifts up and in. Holding, 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 squeezing. Getting that last bit of air out as you go a little bit deeper, trying to recruit all those muscle fibers. If you get a little bit of shaking and trembling going on, that's okay. Now you can release, 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 release. Exhale. Inhale. Start to breathe comfortably, evenly. And we're going to prepare for Shavasana, or our little bit of a short meditation here. So you can go ahead and relax your legs out. Place your hands on the floor with palms up or palms down, or just put yourself in a position where you can truly relax. Shavasana basically translates to surrender. So just surrender and relax. Close your eyes. With your eyes closed, use that mind-body connection and scan your body from the tips of your toes up and out through the top of your head. Just like you're in a scanning machine, like an MRI or CT scan. Then go to your shoulders and down and out through the tips of your fingers and back. So start to scan the entire body. Pay attention to areas where you realize you're still holding on to some tightness and tension, and do your best to release that tension and tightness. With each exhale, releasing even more. Imagine that you're just floating on clouds or floating on a wave in the ocean. The jaw is parted and relaxed and soft. So let's bring awareness back into our space. Start by wiggling your toes and your fingers. And then slowly, gently allow your head to roll from one side to the other. Just slowly, gently. Let's bend our knees and place our feet on the floor or on the mat. Let your knees come down to one side or the other, and then let the upper body follow, and just pause in the fetal position briefly. Get your orientation, and then when you're ready, help yourself up into an easy sit position or cross-legged position. So let's sit up nice and tall. As we inhale, let's float those arms and hands up towards the ceiling, palms together at the top. And as we exhale, bring those hands down to your heart center. Connect your hands to your heart. Namaste, everybody.